Spires and Magic. Rise of Spider-Man. Chapter 17. Rise and Fall. Trixie's gaze remained locked on the star-patterned sky behind her window. A great feeling of restraint pulled at the inside of her chest, forcing the mare to place her hoof over her skipping heart. Once she managed to calm her building nerve, Trixie left the window and took the available space on the bed next to Pierre. Both sat in silence, one out of hesitance and the other out of respect, unaware that their tails rested on each other.
As you've already heard, I was what's known as the greatest of magicians in all of Equestria, the great and powerful Trixie.
Her confident tone had returned. With one hoof over her chest and the other extended over her head, Trixie held her head high.
Slayer of the Ursa Major, one of the most powerful magicians of all, Trixie was nothing short of a legend in the making.
Pierre stared, steadily turned blank as Trixie's ego swelled. If anything, he could say she was certainly relished in her fame. But before Pierre could add to that thought, Trixie's posture changed, her shoulders and head falling in a slump, while a silver blue mane hid the majority of Trixie's face from Pierre's viewpoint. The frown she bore could still be felt, as if her sadness was reaching out to him.
It's sad, really. The fame Trixie garnered all came from a lie, but I still had an audacity to brag,
she said, her tone sobering. Lips curled in a sudden smile before she rose her head slightly, freeing her gaze from the ground.
It didn't always used to be like this.
Trixie shook her head.
My beginnings are far too humble for one as famous as you to understand.
That's not true. Pierre's voice was gentle assurance. It came off a bit offhand, like he was merely attempting to humor Trixie. Feeling her frustration form into anger, Trixie sharply declared at Pierre. She was trying to level with him, and here he was joking as per usual. It was infuriating. If it were any pony else, it wouldn't have bothered her. But for some pony who knew nothing of her history, to joke at her expense was too much.
Don't joke about it, she snapped, irritation seeping out. Your abilities are extraordinary. How could you possibly understand?
I'm not joking, Pierre retorted, taken aback by her sudden ferocity. I wasn't always like this. Before the accident that gave me my powers, I was just an average nerd in high school who lived with his aunt and uncle. Trixie could only stare at the stallion, feeling inconsolable for her outburst. Pierre was not like any pony she had ever met. Even during the times where her condescending attitude would reach a fever pitch, Pierre always remained the same, both honest and kind. Now was no different, and Trixie let out Pierre for no fair reason. She wrapped her hose around herself, attempting to soothe her rattled nerves.
I'm sorry,
she muttered, uncharacteristically soft.
I shouldn't have yelled.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Pierre gestured a smile, placed his hoof on Trixie's shoulder. She stared at the ground to hide her rising blush, while her throat continued to grow, matched only by her quickening heartbeat. The bear Trixie held by her iron will weakened, sending a small sense of warmth through her body. She wanted to progress and give in to trust of Pierre to give her.
Maybe he'll understand, she thought. Well,
Trixie's voice heightened pitch, breeze rising her natural tone.
I was a gifted mare in my school. My teachers stated my magical arts were astounding, phenomenal even. Once I graduated, every pony's expectations were high. Trixie would become the success she was meant to be.
In the same moment, Trixie's ears fell into her mane, signifying her diminishing confidence. Pierre remained silent, wanting to give the mare time she needed to gather herself. Trixie hesitantly stole a glance at the hazel-eyed stallion, finding only the same kindness in his gaze. Another layer of her barrier unraveled, allowing Trixie to reach further into the depths of her memories. The feeling in her chest tightened, but she managed to force the lump down her throat. He'll understand, she thought.
Sadly, that was not the case. I chose to portray my talents for small roadside stands. At first, the success was nice, but everybody quickly became disinterested in my shows. My determination did not falter though. I worked hard to improve my craft. That meant countless hours at the library, sleepless nights to practice, but eventually I felt ready. Using what resources I had left, I left town and pursued my goal as a traveling magician.
Peter met her gaze, holding a hopeful smile in place.
Did that help any? No! It only got worse.
Tracy realized how childish her voice sounded, dropped her hose to defeated fashion.
And no matter what I did, ponies continued to ignore me. The sacrifices I made, it was never enough.
Tracy's shallow breathing increased in volume, in a sense matching her building emotions. Never had she revealed this to any pony, nor she had ever felt inclined to. Her voice grew increasingly shaky. The emotions she kept buried for so long threatened to rise, giving birth to a feeling Trixie had long repressed. She used every fiber of her being to stifle sounds in her throat. Love snarled as a tuck cry escaped from her mouth. Trixie! Peter's soft voice pierced the void like an arrow through the wind. I know exactly what it's like. An empty smile formed on his face, and Trixie found herself hanging on his words for what felt like an eternity. Back at my old home, Spider-Man was declared a menace. No matter how many times I saved the city, I was the same old menace that everyone loved to hate.
Why?
She shook her head in disbelief, paying no mind to the stallion's mispronunciation.
You had done amazing things, and asked for nothing in return. How could any pony hate you for that?
Turning away, Peter only shrugged his shoulders half-heartedly. It was something he asked himself countless times, but never received a concrete answer for. It could have been that Jameson was just too conceited to believe in a good vigilante could do. It may have been because the people of Manhattan had just found a mass crime fear impossible to trust. Peter never knew, and long gave up trying to figure out.
What makes you keep going?
The question tugged at Trixie's heart. Peter sat silently for several moments, his mind deep in thought. That was something else he had always asked himself. But unlike the previous question, this one had a clear answer. It was the only reason he continued being Spider-Man to this day. Because with great power comes great responsibility, Peter said, pointing one hoof of her head. Trixie replied not with words, but edged closer to Peter, even turning in her seat so she completely faced him. However, her cynical side surfaced, causing the mare to let out a pompous scoff.
Did you get that from a fortune teller?
No, it was from my uncle. Peter finally shook his head, albeit sadly. That was the last thing he told me before he died. Trixie felt her heart fall into the bottom of her stomach, and her hoof fell over her open mouth. As she chastised herself, hating how she was handling the conversation as a whole, perhaps out of instinct, Trixie placed her hose on Peter's thigh, holding an apologetic expression in her violet irises. Partially, the rest of guilt that overcame her only added to her unstable emotional state, and before Trixie knew it, tears formed in the corner of her eyes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Peter's hoof fell on Trixie's, interrupting her train of thought. Instead of a spiteful response, as Trixie felt like she deserved, Peter only gave a humble smile. It's okay. I can safely say I turned out better because of it. Yeah, it sucked though I didn't get the recognition I wanted, but I knew as long as I did the right thing, that was all that mattered. Trixie ready to pull her hoof away from Peter's grasp, but her nerve weakened, finding comfort in the stallion's touch. She had been strong for so many years, but it was just an illusion, hiding the distraught mare that suffered from the most pitiful of insecurities. Her mind begged her to stop, but her heart pleaded to continue. He'll understand, she begged.
I wish I was half that strong. Things got so bad, I didn't know what to do.
Her shoulders trembled.
I had to come with some sort of idea to attract customers. If I didn't, I would have gone bankrupt and returned to my home a complete failure.
Trixie placed her hoof over her snout to wipe away her tears. But too many had fallen, leaving her face horribly stained.
I didn't want to do it. I had no choice.
Then what happened next? His tone remained soft and posture firm. The very foundation Trixie had set for herself crumbled, giving way to the emotional stress that plagued her heart for years. Her barrier had completely diminished, leaving the great and powerful Trixie broken and vulnerable. A few strands of her mane stuck to her cheeks, but she did not care. What few friends she had fell asunder from the truth she had. And by Celestia's mane, Trixie did not want to lose the one pony who heard her cries. The inside of her chest ached, forcing more of her tears to fall from Unicorn's eyes. Pierre was her only friend.
I lied,
Trixie forced out, shaking her head furiously.
I started a rumor that I slayed the Nurse Major with my magic. It was unheard of. I didn't expect for anybody to believe it. It was a desperate cry from a fool. Nothing more.
She tried to smile, but only managed a sad frown.
But every pony bought it. Soon ponies gathered to see my shows and hear my magnificent feats.
Even if you knew it was wrong?
Yes!
Trixie sped up her speech, desperate to reveal everything before Pierre could hope to intervene again.
I wanted to stop, but the fame escalated beyond my control.
You could have stopped it. Trixie placed both her hooves on Pierre's own, caressing it gently as he brought it near her chin.
No, I couldn't. The fame became so invigorating.
Her head fell, gracefully coming into contact with Pierre's hoof.
I needed it. It was an empty sensation, but I couldn't live without it. I was special, and not the loser that couldn't hold anybody's attention.
Pierre furrowed his brow, at a loss for words, it seemed, but shook his head disapprovingly. You're not a loser. Some shifted to a challenging one. You're gifted. You just don't believe in yourself. Trixie paused to consider this, but dismissed the thought with a reluctant scoff.
Don't try to console me. Without that lie, the great and powerful Trixie would never have seen the light of day.
His eyebrow raised and he frowned. Then why do you hate the lie? His question was simple, but it sent a wave of uncertainty through Trixie. Pierre closed his eyes. It's because you wanted every pony to see the real you. The great and powerful Trixie was just an illusion.
No pony likes the real me.
I do. Trixie here ejected, her voice cracking with both sadness and frustration. Whipping her hose away, she placed the back of her eyes, was become full of tears once more.
I'm the talented loser who lost everything. My fame, my status, my identity. I am nothing now.
That's enough! Trixie cringed. Pierre's voice, usually soft and light, broke its natural scale and traveled along the walls of the room. Because of her fragile mindset, she could not bring herself to meet her gaze. Pierre remained silent after his outburst. The glare in his eyes only deepened, betraying his piqued frustration. Trixie did not know how to take this. Pierre had always remained upbeat, despite the circumstances he was placed in. This reaction was alien, not something Trixie had expected. The one friend she felt like she wanted nothing else to do with her. Trixie nodded, agreeing with her cynical mindset assumption. She had this coming. A liar did not deserve any pony's company, let alone some pony as nice as Pierre. A fallen star could never rejoin the ranks of those that still burned. With a heavy heart, Trixie ready to leave her spot in the bed, but her body froze as a pair of hose found their way around her neck. Trixie inhaled sharply, making a tiny gasping sound. Pierre pulled her into an embrace, his warm body temperature spreading throughout her body, her soaked face buried in his chest. Trixie's widened eyes glanced up at Pierre, but he remained oblivious to her stunned state, clutching the mirror ever so tightly. Honest proud Trixie did not enjoy this type of affection, yet she did not attempt to break free, lucky to remain in this trapped state for as long as time allowed. You're wrong, he whispered, his hot breath tickling the back of her neck. I happen to like the real you. Trixie laughed despite herself. Pierre's statement was simple and honest. Most eyes, it would have been childish or worse in the great and powerful Trixie's stupid. However, Trixie buried her face further into Pierre's chest, feeling giddy at the eerie foolishness portrayed. There was no humor behind Pierre's smile, only sincerity and understanding.
Why?
She weakly asked, desperate for a valid explanation. Despite his immense strength, Pierre held Trixie with extreme care. He knew what it was like to battle insecurities. Trixie only wanted to succeed, and see every pony spat out of her hard work. A little white line was all it took to send her to the top. Trixie knew it was wrong, but she had finally tasted success that eluded her for so long. That only fueled her insecurity. Without the lie, she was nothing. Now Trixie was a damaged girl who felt like she couldn't accomplish anything. He shook his head. No. She was a girl who made a mistake and paid for it dearly. The great and powerful Trixie was the pony Trixie wished she could be. Confident, strong, unfazed by the naysayers around her. It was no different with Pierre and Spider-Man, but there was a clear difference between him and Trixie. Pierre found friends that were helping him through his troubles, but Trixie had been alone for quite some time, feeling that loneliness was a normal aspect. She wished to change, that was clear. She just didn't have enough of herself to try. It was time he changed that. Because you're something in my eyes, he finally stated. Trixie shook her head, flustered. Pierre was nothing short of a half-wit, but she found herself weak against his words. Numb relief had filled the majority of her body. Pierre was there, as her friend. He told her so with his own words. The sadness that consumed her mind faded to nothingness, allowing Trixie to smile from ear to ear. It was fortunate Parker could not see her face. He ruined the moment with one of his ridiculous puns. Trixie broke away from the stallion's embrace, but the smile on her face remained intact.
You're an idiot,
she sniffled, trying her best to wipe her face clean of any evidence leading to crying.
Thank you.
The pair stood in comfortable silence for a few minutes. Pierre watched Trixie struggle to clean herself up before looking at the stars behind the window. Trixie, I think it's time we started over.
What?
Although her face was covered with a towel, Pierre's statement covered her by surprise. I think it's time you apologize to the others. Her brow lowered, her lips poked in a pout.
I knew it was coming.
Trixie shook her head.
I would, but...
Look, Pierre intervened, cutting Trixie's protest short. I don't know exactly what happened, and I don't want to take sides. No matter who was right or who was wrong, it's up to you to set an example. Her gaze fell to the side.
They hate me.
No, they don't, he said softly, causing Trixie's cheeks to blush. You're not the same Trixie you remember, okay? Just be yourself. They'll warm up to you. All you have to do is give them a fair chance.
What if you're wrong?
Pierre tapped her shoulder gently, causing Trixie to notice the moonlight reflected in his eyes. What if I'm right? You know, the grammar in this fic is pretty good. My only complaint is that occasionally the words run into each other. I just need to make that statement. Laughter echoed through the entire room. Pinkie had just told another of her random yet true stories, and soon there were more to come. Rainbow encouraged her energetic friend to continue, while the others weakly groaned in agreement, albeit out of sarcasm. However, as if Celestia heard their pleas, a soft sound of knocks were heard at the door, a sound causing every pony's ears to perk. Who could that possibly be? Octavia asked, pulling her robe closer so that nothing could be revealed. What? Tavi, you don't normally wear clothes. Applejack smirked. Happily plate. He's been asleep all day. Go in and let him in, Rainbow. Rarity, following Octavia's example of her robe, clutched it tightly.
Are you mad? This is hardly the place. I'm not decent.
The door flew open, courtesy of Rainbow Dash, who paid every pony no mind. Octavia flew under the bed sheets, using the beds cover to side her body from the world's eyes. Rarity let out a shriek, snatching Applejack's hat from her head, and using it as a makeshift shield over her chest. Pierre remained at the door, oblivious to every pony's erratic behavior. Shouldn't that be put her hat lower down towards where the girls actually are? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought you girls could use a little extra company, he said offhandedly. Upon receiving several questionable glares, Pierre raised his hose away defensively. No, not me. I'm a guy. It's not manly to participate in slumber parties, and I am 100% man, horse. His rebel only earned more glares, rightfully so. Shrugging his shoulders, he stepped aside. Well, that was awkward. Come on, Trixie. Trixie walked into the room, and slowly with her gaze fixed on the ground. A few of the ponies' glares dissipated, turning to slack-jawed expressions, while others tilted their heads to the side. Twilight shifted her gaze to Pierre, but the stallion left the boundaries of the room and pulled the door close behind him. Play nice, ladies, he nonchalantly stated. The entire room fell silent as Pierre's steps outside progressed until they were no longer heard. Trixie remained in her position, ignoring all the glares that threatened to bore through her body. Alazak hopped from her bed and tried over to the former magician. "What tarnation do you want?" she asked, bemused. Trixie slammed her eyes shut, blankly replied,
I want to apologize.
"Voila!" "Pardon?" Alazak's mind finally caught Trixie's words. Rainbow stood over with her hose crossed.
Why are you really here? To say I'm sorry.
Trixie stated again, her voice grown sorry.
Why?
Rarity walked in, placing Applejack's hat over her golden crown.
Because I was wrong.
Trixie's emotions had long settled, but her nerves remained uneasy. Forcing the mare to place her hoof over her throbbing head.
I do not expect any of you to forgive me. I do not even forgive myself for what I've done.
Her voice gave way, succumbing to her lowering self-esteem.
I was being somebody I wasn't, and hurt so many in the process. I wanted to say I'm sorry for lying to all of you.
Her violet irises finally opened, revealing the sadness he held for so long. A crude and simple apology was all she could give. Trixie pressed her front hose together, and attempted to calm her mind vaguely. It was not enough. As per usual, it was never enough to satisfy Yang Pine. All the same, Trixie turned sharply and prepared to take her leave, where her tears were beginning to resurface. However, Twilight intervened, cutting off her path by standing in front of the exit. Both mares gazed at each other for what seemed like hours. Trixie's posture steadily shrank, as if the entire world was mocking her. Twilight, like Pierre, never attacked Trixie, despite her right to. Even during the Ursa Meyer incident, Twilight never seeked to dethrone Trixie. She always stopped being a disaster from occurring. In a sense, not for Twilight, the entire village would have blamed Trixie if anything were to happen. The one she blamed for her pain was the one who saved her from her crueler fate. It was truly patriotic justice, and Trixie hated herself for it. She was lucky to have found a friend in Pierre. Trixie dared not to force anything on the others, not when she deserved only the worst. At the very least, she could follow Pierre's example instead of Stender, even if it were futile.
I owe you an apology too, Twilight. It wasn't fair for me to blame you for the mess I created.
Tears fell down the corner of her eyes, leaving a twinge of guilt to strike every pony's heart. Her head lowered, Trixie cried out loud enough for the entire room to hear.
I'm sorry!
Shameful. The word echoed throughout Trixie's mind without mercy. She just rolled over and begged for forgiveness. The great and powerful Trixie reduced to this. Trixie shook her head, dismissing the thought. No, the great and powerful Trixie was nothing more than a shadow now. While she was not necessarily at her proudest moment, Trixie could say that at least she was being honest with those around her. A hoof fell on her shoulder, causing Trixie to lift her head from the ground. Twilight smiled warmly.
Trixie, every pony makes mistakes. It's okay.
Amazek exhaled, brushing a strand of her mane behind her ear.
Well, I gotta say, I'm surprised.
Eventually, Fran turned to a small smile. But y'all apologize. It's a little favor to accept it.
Why the sudden change of heart?
Rarity asked, apprehensive. Trixie placed her hoof over her eyes, cursing her inability to hold her tears at bay. However, despite this fault, a genuine smile formed on her face.
I had to have an idiot teach me an obvious lesson.
Twilight's smile grew.
I'd love to hear about it. It'd be a great letter to send to Princess Celestia. Are you certain that's okay?
Trixie's eyes widened, before her ears shamefully drooped to her mane.
I don't think I'm important enough to.
Piggy hopped over, landing between Twilight and Trixie, causing a loud yelp.
Yep. Don't be silly. We're glad to all know all you learned.
Racine to hop in place, he giggled.
Maybe we can play something easier, too.
Trixie's eyes widened, and the inside of her chest tightened. It would take time to adjust these feelings of affection. And compared to years of loneliness she dealt with was a welcome change. Trixie shifted her gaze to the closed door. She had only one friend, but seeing that number would soon change.
This group may not be as bad as I thought.
Trixie smiled, allowing one final tear to fall alongside her cheek.
Dear Princess Celestia, I learned something valuable today. Some ponies should never change who they are to impress others. By doing that, you are denying your true self, also lying to yourself. As long as you're honest to yourself, you can do the same with others. They'll accept you for your flaws. I'm going to try and be more honest from now on. After all, I have a friend I don't want to disappoint. Sincerely yours, Trixie Illumin.
Peter sat on the top of the car's exterior, letting the wind blow through his mane. The train's speed remained steadfast, but thanks to his ability to stick to any surface, he didn't have any worry about slipping. Other than the power drain. Are we gonna go back to that plot? Powers weakening, losing abilities. The girl's laughter could be heard from his position. Okay, or whatever. Tracy soon joined them.
Guys, I gotta admit, I'm conflicted here.
Let me finish this part, I'll tell you why. Her distinct voice sticking out amongst the rest. A small smile on her face, Pierre rolled onto his back, content with his good deed for the day.
Why am I conflicted, you may ask? On the one hand, I love the character interactions. I love that there's plenty of time for the characters to talk and be characters. I love that. I live for that. But right now, there is a power drain. There's discord on the rise. I said it again, and this bears repeating. Arcade Striker did this beautifully. By focusing on the characters and having the characters be characters, and keeping any sense of the world-destructive plot in the background, I didn't have to worry about there being a time limit or there being characters having something bad happen to them. I was able to focus on the characters. But right now, all I can think of is, are we forgetting a few things? All this character interaction is great, but, hello? Problems? It's an interesting conflict. I look forward to seeing you guys next week.